End to the season would have been a real task for the medical department.
The majority of these players, there are some players who have been out for longer than others, like Jose Perez.
An important thing, do you think, that players do suit the way managers play? Because
play the way Brendan wants. He's not having to think too hard about it.
He can cut win last weekend. They've been free scoring in their new Minsky. He's still in quarantine after his move from Genk. So Andrew King Power Stadium after the longest season ended in July. And again, like Leicester, a number of youngsters in the Blackburn.
About Leicester's lineup, and they started very brightly with Damari Gray or Harvey Barnes. Barnes took over the man.
23, the oldest of the back four, looked this afternoon, including Dewsbury Hall, who has started this move. Vardy from Knight. It was blocked by Thomas. Moved to Barnes with space. Drills one across the face of goal and all the way through to Dewsbury Hall, who hit the side netting. But two opportunities, and a real prospect as Bradley Johnson tries to switch the play.
And Barnes has whipped the ball across the Blackburn defensive line, was unaware of that. They can't dally too long on the ball. He'll be breathing down. They probably weren't expecting to be playing that. And I'd like to know if there's a little loose bit of play there.
Tight on the edge of the area and Gray dispossessed. Chowdhury there.
Get your head around that.
Daly Campbell, there's a crossing chance. Cut out at the near post by Derek Williams.
Yeah, that's better.
There's three inside the penalty area. Jesper with Spurs and a lone spell at the end of that with Fulham. Former German international. It's a crunching challenge, a trademark. 1 win away at Fleetwood, a 3-1 win away at Blackpool, and then 3-2 last.
So the likes of, I'm not putting him in the same bracket, but Roy Hodgson and managers who've been around the block. They've still got that love. And
tries a chip ball in. Thomas maybe could have let that go, and in the end his block has earned Blackburn their first corner of the afternoon. We missed a lot of last season due to injury. Would have been a key figure.
That name from somewhere. That's what it is.
Because the 0-0 draw at Fleetwood. Dewsbury Hall sliding one towards Vardy, away by.
Swapping tactical issues and opinions, but
spent the last season and a half well known at peak.
Out and hope he's kicked his studs on the follow through, which often happens with his situation. But certainly there's scope for this nice ball from Josh Knight. Like that, he can play in a variety of positions.
The area where Rankin Costello was waiting. Is Barnes, Vardy close by. Wriggled away from McGlaw. Ball in at the near post that Fisher got something to, but the deflection off. Kicking in, Danny Graham, the experienced striker. Stuart Downing, who was the leading by Barnes. Dewsbury Hall taking up possession and winning a throw. It's pulled back to Rankin Costello, a scorer last weekend. And as he lays that one back to Bradley Johnson's Blackburn's first shot in anger for the cross. Williams firing it at his own player. A deep breath for Bradley Johnson before returning from Nottingham Forest. Tony Mowbray speaking in glowing terms.
Minimal, marginal differences, but they make such an impact, don't they? If you get bypassed in a 1v1 situation, it's effectively.
Nyambe. His cross, Rankin Costello's header. Well, after scoring his first for the club last weekend, looking to. Gray deciding to go himself. A left-footed shot that fizzes over Fisher's bar. Born Irish international. Back to Fisher, who spent last season on head of the kick-off next weekend against the team that have just come up from. No.
You don't?
No.
Not of a certain
Educate
age,
us all, Macth Campbell. He's trying to use his pace to go beyond Bell. Goal kick, despite the protest. Newcastle time before some loan spells away, in particular one at Coventry where he worked with Tony Mowbray, who signed him for Blackburn a couple of years ago.
He's got the pace to stretch defences, but
to move infield, Campbell went with him. And the two tussle. Leicester come away with a free kick. Drunk, the only Blackburn man over the ball, has decided to play the ball in. Breton. Armstrong offside. Not seen much of Blackburn's leading goal scorer, but you get the sense to the opposite full-back Nyambe, who's gone for goal, and Armstrong stretching, but just wasn't quite tall enough to poke that over the line. Here's Josh Knight.
Always makes me think, when I see it, something that needs looking at, needs adjusting, perhaps a short power and with some people might say surprising change, isn't it? Because I mean, if you see, for instance, let's go. But it was. Listen, I was a
Blackburn arguably with the best chance of the half, but
back Walshy as well. You know, myself and Walshy probably better centre halves and centre forwards, but we could do a job if need. Yeah, just about got a touch on that occasion, didn't he?
Your surface there, I think, Papi Mendy. The slide didn't really take off. That was late from Daly Campbell. Blackburn having their major chance, their best chance, a cross in from.
Emphasis on that in the half-time discussions, really, as long as possible. Myself, from a selfish point of view, because I think once
joined Blackburn when he was just 30. Jamie Vardy pulling it. Played in every league game, 6 of them as a substitute.
Legs are purple at the moment. Serves him right.
Skipper. And well to stay on his feet. This has fallen to Rankin Costello. That's a good save by the young goalkeeper Stolarczyk. His first real action in the game coming early in the second half. Danger not clear. That was a clumsy challenge, but the play will be stopped for a head injury. Chowdhury.
In a league game you might have, because that was always looking like a dangerous.
27th have got the FA Cup quarter-final tie with Manchester City. Armstrong officially finished second in the Premier League 2.
In conjunction with
Of course, the Foxes fans are looking forward to is the 1st of October, the Euro 13 times last season. Travis clearly likes a foul for Barnes, didn't get the shot away, Vardy went down, referee says no. Then it's Chowdhury, and after a number of shots towards goal, Chowdhury's effort skews wide.
It to be played wide initially.
Killed towards Barnes.
It's such a, I mean, Barnes has done well, it's not a bad ball, got well to get on. Worthy of a penalty kick in my opinion. I think the referee would have considered Vardy involved more regularly, because he is their main man. And he
rated Poland Youth International. That might find its way through to Daly Campbell, and does. Lined up a shot. Didn't trouble Andrew Fisher in the Blackburn goal. And Amati, who joined the club as a central midfielder, but turning and will turn away from Ndidi. Good save by Stolarczyk. How important a touch was that, as Brereton was ready to
again.
For Blackburn, by the way, it's a new front three. It's came through to the far post, and Williams just couldn't adjust quick enough to. Johnson and Amati off the bench, and will be options here, and Amati has found the net. A fortunate goal. Fisher, who's disappointed with his work, but Daniel Amati returning to King Power Stadium for the first time in almost 2 years on the field and on the score sheet. Eventually the deadlock is broken, very much in the mould of Adam Armstrong, but playing that central. He's got forward at every opportunity, the Blackburn number 2. Albrighton, who's looking for a free kick.
Competing on level terms, you have to say, in this game.
All youngsters, the 3 that have come on, although Rothwell at 25 is the older.
Back at the heart of opposition defences, and
Chapman back there. Oh, Marty's let that roll under his foot, but just
to being a threat. I'd like to see that.
Albrighton and Perez on. Barnes and...
It's a new one on me, John. Don't remember that award being Dewsbury Hall. Similarly, you know.
It's a strong run from Rothwell, and his shots just falling wide. Leicester players asking questions of each other. Went Daly Campbell. Perez wanted it. It's gone in. Perez trying to keep the move alive. Brighton biting at the heels of McGlaw, and as Chapman goes into the penalty area away from Amati, and Johnson, and just wide of the far post, with Tyrese Dolan lurking but unable to cause himself some problems here. Here's Travis, and he's out to dive on a loose ball, and apologies all round. Nice ball out to the far side. 2 waiting. Nyambi heading back towards his own port. Joined from Manchester City will take, whipped in at the near post, a glancing header that finds the back of the net through Derek Williams. So lovely floated ball in by Davenport, the substitute, and Williams making his presence felt at the near post, the glancing. Gone beyond Thomas.
The style of play at that level, oh great.
Great stuff, and Barnes! Shot blocked by Williams, but Dewsbury Hall and Harvey Barnes, they've come through the academy almost side by side, and they linked up there twice.